And then we go to the main event. Steve Maclin defeated PCO in a no disqualification matches. This match was disgusting. This match was hard to watch. This match was brutal. Steve Maclin had one of the worst cuts that I have ever seen a guy have. It was one of the bloodiest, most disgusting matches, and I absolutely loved it. it was awesome. The blood came when Maclin went for a tope suicida, but PCO nailed him with a cookie sheet. And I'm a guy that hates cookie sheets in wrestling because they're stupid. but this one, he hit him so hard on his head that it actually cut him open. I look like he had like 3 cuts. And the next thing you know, he's just squirting blood. He's squirting blood out of his head. It's like it's like a horror movie. Like it's not something that you would normally see in pro wrestling. But that's what we got here. It was just wild. And then at one point, so it looked like I think the referee was trying to look at the cut, but Steve Maclin's so damn tough, he told him to get the hell away from him. It was Maclin was not about to let this match be stopped. He got some fortunate juice, I would say, and it absolutely worked out. And then at one point, Maclin took a staple gun and then stapled PCO's mouth shut. And I always like, sometimes staples are real, but a lot of times they just do the staples and there's no staples in it. This was legit. He stapled PCO's mouth shut. Then PCO grabbed pliers and then took the staples out of his mouth. It was so scary. And then Maclin hit PCO with a sledgehammer and then pulled slabs of concrete out from under the ring. Now, typically, the concrete is fake. This was not fake concrete. This was actually real slabs of concrete. He pulled from under the ring, stacked the concrete on PCO's back, and all the while, he's squirting blood everywhere. Like he's got blood all over his body, and it's all over the ring. And every time he bends over, blood just shoots out. It's one of the craziest things you'll ever see. The damnedest fucking match. He put the concrete on PCO's back and hit it with a sledgehammer. And then the concrete just breaks up. And then he hits the pin, gets only a 2 count, and then PCO hulks up and hits a DDT on Maclin, and then hit a lung blower off the middle ropes. And then PCO hit a leg drop on the back of the neck of Maclin for a 2 count. And then he hit a senton bomb off the top rope onto Maclin on the apron. And then Maclin then hit an iconoclasm off the top rope onto the apron onto PCO. So PCO was on the ropes on iconoclasm, if you're not familiar. So he actually he just threw him off the middle rope on the outside, but he hit the apron and bounced off and then landed on the ground. PCO got up after that and hit inverted DDT on Maclin before setting up a series of cinder blocks in the ring. And PCO went to the top rope, but Maclin cut him off and threw PCO onto the cinder blocks and then hit the KIA on the blocks for a pinfall. I mean, this was just brutal. One of the, like, it's not a death match because death matches are stupid. Death matches are, like light tubes for the sake of light tubes. And like, this was like 2 guys having a beef that found some shit around the ring and beat the shit out of each other with it. That's what this was. Different than a death match, which a death match is like they set the props up on the outside of the ring and you're expected to use those props. This was a little bit, this is a no DQ match, so it's a little different, right? It was one of the most brutal, bloody matches that you'll ever see. And I think this is going to be one of those matches that when we look back on the reign of Maclin, is going to be a highlight, as a moment of people really started to believe in Steve Maclin as a top guy, because Impact did not prepare him well for the spot that he took at Rebellion. But now that he's got the title, he absolutely looks like a world champion. He's got the look, he's got the promos, he's got the work, he's got everything that they need to be a world champion. He just doesn't have the notoriety. He doesn't have the popularity yet. I think the whole world was talking about Maclin last night. The picture of him with his face bloody and him, that shit-eating grin on his face, has gone viral. It's being picked up. Pro Wrestling Illustrated has picked it up. I think they might have it on their cover soon. I don't know. But it was fantastic. So after the match, Maclin grabs a mic and demands that D'Amore keep his promise and come down to the ring and put the belt around Maclin's waist while blood is just pouring down his face and covered the ring. An unforgettable image. And D'Amore comes out, and then he strapped him up. And then D'Amore offered to shake his hand, but Maclin refused, leaving the ring in a pool of his own blood. Maclin left screaming that he was D'Amore's boss now. And as he's leaving, Bully Ray came from the crowd and wrapped a strap around the neck of D'Amore and choked him out in the ring. And then Bully Ray looked at Maclin and said, "Get the table." And Maclin said, "I like the way you think." And then they get the table. Bully Ray pulls out lighter fluid and went to light the table, but Matt Raywalt came from the announce desk and told Ray and Maclin to stop, but they beat his ass, and then they squirted him with lighter fluid. PCO got back in the ring, but they beat his ass. Then the Motor City Machine Guns tried to make the save, and then they beat his ass. And then Ray and Maclin lit the table on fire and powerbombed D'Amore through it, with Ray getting in the face of D'Amore, saying that D'Amore would never get rid of him and that he was going to tank the entire company down. And then Ray held Macklin's hand up, celebrating with the bloody, bloody champion. And then Maclin will defend against Alex Shelley in 2 weeks at Against All Odds. Just an incredible angle to end the show. They connected a lot of dots and a lot of stories. They successfully connected the Alex Shelley dot. I think we're going to learn more about the relationship between Alex Shelley and Scott D'Amore as we head into Against All Odds. If Steve Maclin wasn't so damn, I think he needs a little bit of time off after that match, because those cuts are going to need time to heal. So one would think that Bully and Maclin would take on the Motor City Machine Guns at the taping, but I don't know if that's even going to be possible. But I think that's that would be a way to go. Or maybe, Trey Miguel replaces Steve Maclin because Macklin's got those cuts. But yeah, either way, I thought this was one of the best shows of the year for Impact. They really did a good job. It's one of the best Impact Plus specials they've ever had. They had everything that you would ask for. They had great wrestling up and down the card. They had ultra violence, and then they had great storytelling there with the end. I know some people don't like D'Amore being a part of it because he's the president of the company. That it only bothers me when the president of the company isn't a good performer. And if the president of the company makes the entire show about themselves. But we only saw him at the end, and the only thing he did was get his ass kicked. So I don't have a problem with that. Now, if he was a shitty performer like Dixie Carter, and if he made the entire show about him like Dixie Carter or Eric Bischoff's a great performer, but Eric Bischoff monopolized a lot of TV time, and it became too much. And I had the same issues with D'Amore in the past, but now that they brought in Santino, that's been less. So they've split it up a little bit, but they use those authority figures to kind of connect dots as to why matches are being made. I don't think it's all that necessary. I think they can remove the authority figure altogether, but if they're going to have an authority figure, I think Scott D'Amore is pretty good at it. And plus he could take bumps, and he's a good promo. And I liked the angle here. And I like where we're going. I'm interested in what Bully Ray and Maclin have to bring as a unit, not as a tag team, as a unit. I wonder if they're going to start a faction, a main event faction. I don't know what that they both have right now. They have a mutual beef with Scott D'Amore, and that's what brought them together. So I wonder if they're going to expand on that. Well, time will tell. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to Alex Shelley versus Steve Maclin at Against All Odds. And I'm really looking forward to what Impact has to offer in the summer, man. They got a lot of big shows coming up. So I'm going to continue doing these Brace for Impact shows as long as you guys are willing to listen to them. So, and then if there's some stuff that you need me to talk about, just let me know, and I will either try to bring it up on the Mike and JD show, or I will save it for a Brace for Impact show. But that's going to do it for me. And until next time, mahalo.